one of the pieces that I have been hearing about as well as I'm reading about is the inequity in distribution of the causes and the effects. Like something, country A might be the primary polluter, but country B is the one who's getting first submerged because of the rising sea level. So tell us a little bit more about that dynamic. That's happening.
That's the I don't know. That's the extremely unfortunate thing, about this problem is uh, it's just how unequal it is, right? And it just really, I think, exacerbates the inequality in so many ways, right? So one is, I think, the impacts are very unequal, right? And there are some parts that are suffering a lot more than the others. And this is at different levels. So, for example, the global south is suffering a lot more than the global north. The global north typically refers to developed countries like the US, Canada, UK, European Union. And the global south then refers to the developing or the underdeveloped countries like all of Africa, most of Asia, right? All these islands, the small island nations, So all of them typically on the global south. And so there's a big inequality because typically the global south is suffering a lot more than the global north, right? One, because of location, because all of, the island nations are the ones who are the highest risk of getting submerged, right? The other is, I think, just generally the poor suffer more than the rich, and I'll talk a little bit about this. Then I think even within the country, you have there are some states that will suffer more than the others, right? And even within a certain city, the poor suffer a lot more than the rich, right? Because it's very simply, if you to think of it, when there's a heat wave, the rich can afford to be in their homes with an AC on and not go out because they can do their job remotely, right? But the poor laborer has to go and work on the field, right? He has no other option. So, or for example, when there is a cyclone, right? The rich are typically able to shelter themselves better than the poor, right? So even the inequality really plays out. The poor will find it very difficult to protect themselves from this. They will find it very difficult to even pay for adaptation, right? And they will obviously find it very difficult to recover from this.
Right.
For this, so that's one part of the problem, right? But the impacts are extremely unequal. And the irony is that even the who has caused this is extremely unequal.
Right.
So when you look at the emissions, right, and typically you use this measure called per capita emissions, which means one person how much are you emitting, right? And when you start
emitting CO2, essentially.
And how much of CO2 or greenhouse gases are you is every person emitting? It's such a stark inequality, right? Just to give you a sense, at I'll put it at the country level, and then we go into because in a country it's huge. So on an average, right? Average for the world is about 6 tons of CO2 per year per person.
Okay.
Okay, average for the world. The US is at around 14 tons of CO2 per person per year. India is at about 2 tons of CO2 per person per year. And a lot of the African nations will be a lot lower than that.
Okay.
Right? So it is starkly unequal, even at a country level, right? When you look at it from an income point of view, so that is just staggering. So the top 1% richest people in the world emit just about as much CO2 as the poorest 66%.
God.
So, the rich are the ones who are causing the problem. I'm simplifying. The rich are the ones who are really causing the problem. And not just historically, today. I'm not even looking at cumulative emissions. I'm just looking at what's happening right now, what's happening this year, right? And the poor are the ones who are really suffering from it. Right? So, it's who has caused it is very, very unequal. There are a few people who we can literally blame for it. Like even today, I think You can probably pick out the top 100 billionaires in the world and you look at their footprint, it will be massive. And also, who's suffering from the impacts is extremely, extremely skewed.